We begin tonight with in-depth coverage of an ABC Action News investigation. A judge has pulled Hillsborough County Commissioner Jim Norman off the November ballot. It is a major shakeup with Election Day nearly 2 weeks away. It all started with our chief investigative reporter, Alan Cohn, who broke this story about Norman and the questions surrounding his expensive vacation home, Alan.
Jameson, this case revolves around a single check, a $500,000 check from the late businessman and Republican activist Ralph Hughes to the wife of County Commissioner Jim Norman, a check that may have cost Norman his political career and perhaps more.
Never has a candidate for office in Florida been disqualified from the ballot weeks before the election for failing to report assets on their public disclosure statement. But in her 21-page precedent-setting decision, Judge Jackie Fulford found the transfer of $500,000 from Ralph Hughes to Mearline Norman constitutes a gift to Jim Norman that needed to be reported. It was an ABC Action News investigation in July, which uncovered questions about this lakefront vacation home in Arkansas, listed only in the name of Commissioner Norman's wife, Mearline.
Does that home belong to you?
No, it does not.
Who does it belong to?
It belongs to, it is an investment, investments of my wife.
After our story aired, State Representative Kevin Ambler, who lost to Norman in the Republican State Senate primary, sued, charging the commissioner violated election law by not disclosing his financial interest in the property. The litigation resulted in the following facts coming to light. While Jim and Mearline Norman invested around $100,000 of their own money to buy and maintain the property, the lion's share of the funds, $500,000, came from the late Tampa businessman Ralph Hughes.
There can't be two closer individuals than Mr. Hughes and myself. It was almost like he was my father.
Hughes often appeared before the county commission and made millions thanks in part to Norman's pro-growth votes. Yet Norman testified he knew little about Hughes's business deal with his wife. Judge Fulford not only didn't buy it, she wrote this court finds this testimony patently absurd. Norman's only reaction came from his attorney, Frank Winkles, who told us by phone,
"We think she's clearly wrong. We're going to appeal immediately, ask that the appeal be expedited. We think the judge has overstepped her authority and has no jurisdiction to decide this matter."
But Judge Fulford was equally blunt, writing allowing defendant Jim Norman to remain on the ballot would be an affirmation by this court that such a bold, intentional, and material misrepresentation to the public is acceptable under the law. J.T. Lafferty is a former member of the State Commission on Ethics.
The spirit of the law clearly holds that you should publicly disclose any financial interest or liabilities that could be called into question your bias or your judgment.
As for State Representative Kevin Ambler, who lost to his former friend and political ally at the ballot box,
I'm sure that if the voters had had all of the information that had been exposed during this trial, that they wouldn't have voted for Jim Norman at the time of the election. But now we have an opportunity to remedy that situation.
What's unclear is who will take Norman's place on the ballot. Ambler asked in his suit to be named the winner, but he wasn't. His lawyers will ask the court for clarification, but it may be up to the Republican Party to pick a new candidate.